here you are sort of living in this somewhat chaotic kind of, family structure. It's not a traditional family by any stretch of the imagination. But then you ended up moving in with a Collis Temple.
Yeah.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, Collis.
Collis.
Collis Temple. He was a mentor of mine. He's also the son of Garrett Temple, who's in the NBA.
Right.
He was, they're like family to me. Living with them for a long time.
Well, and Collis was actually the first black player to play at LSU.
Yeah.
In 1971.
Yeah.
It was just, at that point, no black players were allowed to play on the team at all?
Yeah. He was.
Sheesh. And this was 71? I mean,
yeah.
You would think by that time, civil rights would have taken care of that, but nah.
Yeah. So
they were selling some racist shit over there.
Mm-hmm. And he was the first one.
Do you know what he went through being the only black player on that field?
Oh, yeah. I know what he went through. He went through a lot of sacrifice.
I bet.
A shitload of sacrifice. But, I think it was for the great cause, though.
Yeah. And Collis went on to play for the Spurs.
Yeah.
For one season.
He had a little stunt. He played.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And you were so close to his son, Garrett Temple, that you basically just started living with him?
Yeah. My situation, was crazy at the time. My mom was, on drugs and stuff like that. So, my mom was like, no matter my mom being on drugs, she always was there. Like, nah, you ain't taking my son. I know what my son, you know what I mean? I know what he's worth. Like, you know what I mean? She ain't know. So every time something like that, she'll sharpen up, get right, and talk her stuff. You know what I mean? So I end up living with them because my mom thought it was the best situation for me. And I also chose that decision, right? I was one of the best 8th graders in state country at that time, and I could have went to any school, but I chose a more challenging school, like university laboratory school. And that's where Collis was, his son was involved with, and AAU basketball too. That's where I met him at.
Okay. And were you living with him for like 4 years all through high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I definitely my 8th grade year to all the way my, 12th grade year, 11th grade year, really, I was living with them.
I mean, when you look back, if you take him out of the equation, and if you were just on your own, do you think you would have made it to college and eventually went pro? No. You would have gotten caught up in the streets and whatever else. I'd
have been in the streets.
I mean, before you actually moved in with Collis, were you getting, mixed up with some bullshit, getting arrested or anything else like that? Or were you pretty much a good kid focusing on sports?
I was always a good kid, but, I was outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like, I was just, hey, I was outside.
Any bad situations?
Yeah.
What was the worst situation you've been through personally?
Personally?
Yeah. During that time in your life?
Man, all types of shit. Back when we grew up, it was like popular to go to the parties and stuff like that. And when you go to the parties, I'm from Gus Young, Parktown. It's like, tough neighborhood. Like, we known, like, from South Baton Rouge, everybody know us, where we from. And so it was hard being an athlete, but also coming, going to the private school, but coming from that area. So sometimes there'll be situations where I have to go to a party, but I see my childhood friends. I'm with my private school friends, and now I see my childhood friends who've been holding me down since forever, and they about to get in a fight. You know what I mean? So now I have to make the choice. You know what I mean? Like, what? And so, usually I'm going to make the choice, the right choice, from just myself at that time and just what I believe in. So yeah, there's situations where they like, yo, baby, you in here? We about to tear it down. Come on. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta fight. See you guys later. Hey, Garrett, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo guys get up out of here. I'll stay. And so now I gotta hold it down for my section So there was moments like that, and after that, gunplay, motherfuckers shooting outside. They ain't trying to fight. They got beat up. Now they going to their cars. So, it was close situations where, thank God that I had sports to kind of like, all right, bro, like, let's not, you over here with these guys, and sports took me away. But when I was around, I had to adapt.
Mm-hmm. Well, you get to high school and you're going to a private school.
Uh-huh.
And you start out with football initially.
Yeah.
So were you thinking about basketball your freshman year?
Yeah. I always loved basketball.
Okay.
I always loved basketball.
Okay. But what were you most focused on when you first got to high school?
I was focused on both when I got to high school.
Got it.
I was really focused on both. I had a very big, huge love for basketball. Football was something that I just did really, really good. I was so good. But I think I lost the love for it because of the position I was playing in high school.
Right, because you were 275 pounds,
Uh-huh.
like your freshman year.
Yeah.
So you're just a monster at that school.
Yeah,
you're just destroying everybody.
Yeah, big motherfucker.
Biggest kid on the field probably ever. Playing anybody.
Ever, yeah. In the school ever.
In the school ever.
Yeah.
Right. Also, you were running the 40 in 4.9.
Yeah,
you were fast.
Yeah, and that was in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
That was in high school.
Okay, and then college recruiters were kind of like interested in you at that time.
Hell yeah.
So, but then in the summer of 2001, you went to basketball camp at LSU.
Yeah.
Nick Saban was there.
Yeah.
And Shaq was there.
Yeah, Shaq was around, yeah.
Was that when things started to shift for you? Like, okay, maybe I should focus on basketball?
Things started to shift for me. I started getting a lot of notoriety. Start getting a lot of people like, damn, he really, really good. You know what I mean? And things start shifting with me when I start seeing like people, for example, making money from playing the sport of basketball. You know what I mean? I seen, for example, Brandon Bass. He was a guy that came up from Baton Rouge, All-American, played in the NBA. And in high school, he was the man. And I seen like, wow, this can help me get out of my situation. I knew football could, but I didn't love football like I love basketball. And so when the decision was when the decision to stop playing football came, it was because I went to a summer camp at AAU, and it was a ranking. I was like ranked 35, 40, like 15, and then that next year I ranked to like top 10. And so I was like, shit, I'm about to play basketball. And then I hate wearing a helmet. You know what I mean? I just felt like, you can't see me. You know what I mean?
Also a lot more damaging.
And a lot of
CTE.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Football careers don't last like basketball careers do. And once football players retire, they go through a lot more health problems than basketball players.
A lot.
A lot more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while you were at LSU, you got to hang out with Shaq a little bit.
Yeah.
And I guess you guys were having dinner at one point.
Uh-huh.
And Shaq asked you to come outside.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened next?
So I was infatuated with Shaq at the time, because I felt like I was a Shaq minion, But I ended up knowing him because, I was an athlete at LSU and playing at U High. And I got a chance to meet the director over there with the scholarships with, Mike Mullet, one of his advisors, and went to dinner with him at his house eating spaghetti. And Shaq goes out of nowhere. I was like, let's go outside. I'm like, all right.
You got to do it in the Shaq voice.
Let's go outside. Cross-eyed. But he's like, let's go outside. And then he's like, all right, let's get down, And he was like, all right. You know how you wrestle, you get in the position? So I'm in the position. And I'm like grabbing him, holding him, and like next thing you know, I slam him down like a wrestler, like, and he was like, God damn, you know, you a big ass kid. And so that's how me and his relationship really started.
So you slammed Shaq.
Yeah.
7'1", 325 pounds.
Big motherfucker.
Yeah. Back in the day, me and Shaq worked on a mixtape together during my DJ days. That's when he actually dissed Kobe on the mixtape. And I mean, we were on the phone a lot, and then we got to meet later on, I think in LA. And I remember standing next to him going like, this is the biggest human being I've ever seen in my entire life. I've just never seen anyone this, you know, he looked like a giant.
Yeah.
I'd never met anyone, because usually 7-footers are usually really skinny.
Yeah.
Not him.
No.
He's just a massive human being.
Big motherfucker.
You body slammed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slammed on the ground, pinned him, kept him there, and Mallet was like, "Yo, get up off him. I want you to hurt him." I'm like, all right.